Hello folks, and I'm headless today because I'm showing you a new purchase. This is a small office amp or practice amp from a company called Positive Grid. It's actually PreSonus that manufactures this. The amp is Positive Grid and it's a Spark model. They're quite popular. You see a lot of reviews of these amps and they're very positive reviews on YouTube, and that's the reason I purchased this. So, disclaimer right out of the box here. If you're looking for a good demo of feature and functionality of this thing, check out the videos on YouTube. There are a bunch of them that shows you, how to use this thing. It's quite involved, and also the different sounds that you can get out of the amp. This review is simply my personal experience with this thing so far and what I think about it as a budget amp. So here goes. First off, before I even get involved in the let me bring this up a bit. Hello. First off, before I even get involved in reviewing this thing, I'll tell you why I bought it. I'm a sucker for a good deal, and Amazon had this on sale for 40% off last week, or shortly before that. And so the amp is normally $299, and 40% off brought it to about $179 plus tax, free shipping. Couldn't refuse it. Especially based on the reviews that I've seen on this thing, and I apologize that sun. I'm going to put my big head here to block it for now. But it's a good practice amp. It has a lot of features on it. What I like about it is that without having to use the additional software that it supports, which is an application on a phone that you can use to actually dial in this thing, get effects, thousands of effects they claim. Pedals, amp modulations, you name it. I'm pretty simple. I like the onboard effects. I think they're great as is. It comes with the following. Now, it's a nice looking unit, number one. I like the packaging. Looks like an amp head, right? That's what it's designed to look like. The controls are on top, and the controls, and I'll adjust this down so you can see, consist of the following. So right here you have your power button, which is kind of weird. It's a really thin, without any sort of, cap on it, rubber cap, just a thin metal control that turns the amp on. And when it's on, you can see there's a red light. When it's off, the light goes off. Just a bit of an odd control. Hopefully it'll last. Up top here you have your presets. You can do 4 preset controls, so you can make this thing customized to your liking for presets. It comes already set up with their own ideas of what they like as presets. Here you can see you can put a 1/4-inch headphone jack in and plug your headphones into here. This here is a volume for your MP3, that source that you put into the amp, so you can play MP3s through the amp. It's a 40 watt amp. As you can see, it's a Spark 40, so it's 40 watts, and I think it's 40 watts. I mean, it's not super loud, but it's definitely more loud than I need, put it that way. The controls themselves. So you've got various amp style settings on this amp built in, right? So first of all, what's really nice, it'll take a bass guitar to plug in here, and you can emulate a bass. You can use this as a bass amp. You can also plug an acoustic guitar in here and get acoustic amp settings as well. But what I like about it are the various amp styles that are just built into the amp. So you have a clean setting. You have and the clean setting is just that. It's a dry, clean amp setting. Then there's a glassy setting, which is a little bit more, pristine, Fender-ish type sound. And then you have a crunch setting, which is just that, which is, thicker, more distorted. Then you have also here a high gain setting as well as a metal setting. So the last 3 are your crunches, right? Your thicker, dirtier, rock metal type settings. But you really can get a nice basic clean setting, clean sound, I should say, out of this amp, as well as really decent distorted sounds. Here you have your typical controls. You have a gain switch, which can, you know, increase or decrease the amount of dirt you want on the amp. There's your equalization settings here, which is, you know, you have a bass setting, you have a mid-range setting, a treble setting. Then you have a master volume control for all of these various effects. You have a modulation switch here, which will allow you to get modulations like phase, chorus, those types of things out of this modulation switch. Then you have your echo or your delay, which is right here. And you also have a separate reverb in addition. So you can get really nice, you know, reverb as much as you like, full room reverb or just a tad bit of reverb, depending upon how you set this up. And then you have an overall output control, which is the overall volume for the amplifier. And of course, this is your input jack here where you plug your guitar in. And you know, that's it. It's pretty simple, which is what I like about it. I had a Boss Katana, and I also had a Mustang, several Mustang versions, various wattages, and I found both the Mustang and the Katana, Boss Katana, are a little bit more involved and difficult to tone in and dial in and get set up. This is very simple, and that's what I like about the amp. However, if you use the software, the Positive Grid software app that you can download on your phone, which will open up a whole host of other things where you can get additional effects, additional amp settings, you can get pre-recorded background tracks that you can play along to through the amp. This thing has a whole host of capabilities. It also has an onboard tuner, which I didn't mention. So if you turn this thing on, the amp on, and you tap this once the guitar is plugged in, obviously, and you tap it, it'll turn off. And then at this point in time, this light becomes green when it's in tune. So it's really intuitive. So you tune your E string. If it's green, it's in tune. A, D, B, the whole bit, and nice little built-in tuner as well. What else do we have to talk about? It comes with a strap, although I don't recommend it. It's a flimsy strap, and I really don't trust it, to be honest. On top of the, or the back of the amp, I should say, which I'm going to show you now, you have an auxiliary button that you can plug in another device to, and you also have the USB, where you can do your updates for the software and this actual device itself. So it's a very, very nice looking, simple box. I would say this weighs, I would say probably 12 pounds, maybe 10, 12 pounds, so it's not super heavy. But yet it feels solid. It really does. The rubberized cabinet on this thing is pretty dense, pretty thick. So I think if you drop it or bang it, it'll tolerate it pretty well. So that's my thoughts, guys, on at least the initial experience that I have with it. It's got two 4-inch speakers in here, and it's a little cloth mesh covering of the amp. Again, very attractive. But what I'll do is I will set her down, and I'll plug it in, and I'll just play some basic stuff. Again, you can get much better videos online for how this thing sounds than what I'm going to be doing. But again, I just want to plug it in so you can at least hear it. Get my jack over here. Turn her on. Okay. So now it is set to a clean tone, a basic clean tone. So I'll let you hear what that sounds like. It's already out of tune, so let's use the tuner and see how this thing works. So as I mentioned before, you simply hold the tap down and you can't really see it right now, but it's out of tune. So I'm going to turn it to make it green. And it works nice. The tuner locks in pretty well. Okay. That's better. Okay, so now we'll try it again. Delay on, so you can hear what the delay sounds like clean. We'll cut it down a bit. And you can adjust the delay however you like it, obviously. Here's a little bit of reverb. And we'll give it some modulation. And we will put on a different channel. So that was clean. Let's hear what it sounds like on the glassy setting. You have to adjust the volume down, obviously, because the volume does change when you set up the various amps. So we'll adjust it down. Glassy sounds like. Now we're going to move it up to the crunch. And now I'm going to put it on the high gain setting. And finally, this is on the metal setting. So the metal is quite, is quite metally, right? So, guys, that's the amp in a real fast, get this back here, overview for you. I'm still playing around with it and learning it, quite honestly. There's a ton to learn on this thing. But I'm finding that I really enjoy it. I think that the clean sounds and the dirt sounds just out of the amp without even having to download the app and get involved in experimentation is fine for what I need it for. It's small, it's compact, it's built strong. It's got everything I need, and that's the reason I bought it, aside from the fact that I got a killer deal on Amazon. But I highly recommend it for anybody that has limited space, that's looking for something that sounds real good, that's simple to use, that's built well, and that has a ton of features that you can grow with. So if you want to jam along with it, with the app, you can do that. There's a host of background tracks that you can jam to and play along with. It's got a built-in tuner. It's got the ability to support a whole host of different effects for different sounds and different amplifiers. It's really an amazing piece of equipment. And what I like about it is that it is nice looking. You know, some of these things are bulky and small but look like toys. This thing really looks like an amp head and is built very solidly. So I really love the way it looks, love the way it sounds, love the features and functions. If you have any questions at all on this Positive Grid Spark 40, please put them down below and I'll do my best to answer them as quickly as possible. Again, guys, if you're looking for really good, in-depth demonstrations of this thing and all its functionality, this video wasn't designed for that. Check the others out on YouTube. There are a bunch of them on this amp. Some really good ones that talk about everything you can do with this thing and how deep you want to go down the rabbit hole and look into what this thing can do. If you find this review helpful for the novice that's just looking to start out and play with one of these digital amps, please subscribe and support the channel. And again, all your questions will be answered. Just fire them below. And as always, guys, until the next time, be well and stay safe. Take care.